Algae protein is going to give whey protein a run for its money. And I'm not being facetious in that light, because algae protein is going to start dropping in prices as production begins to improve and hopefully get the taste and the smell mitigated per se. Again, that's for culinary experts over the horizon. But if it continues at this rate, Spirulina and Chlorella type proteins, as far as its metabolism effects, anabolic effects, cardiovascular, mood function, reduction in inflammation, are just going to be astounding and really give other proteins a run for their money. So without further ado, let's get right into the research as follows. I want to show you the first group right there. Spirulina, or the algae proteins, have 9 of the essential amino acids. They're pretty complete. If you compare it to soy, it's superior to that. But also on top of those containing the 9 essential amino acids, you have the benefits for weight loss, mood lift, and inflammation. And that is pretty encompassing, and it just gets better from there. I can't go into all the detail. We have a lot of territory to cover, and please forgive me, I have to speak kind of fast to get through it as fast as possible, hence the graphics, so you could stop and see. All right, not just bond scum. Yes, we all know Spirulina and Chlorella have other benefits, but also too. Let's look at the chart down below. A little simplified as far as its protein quality score compared to egg and beef. Comparable to egg, better than beef, but even better, its dry weight protein-wise is much higher than even egg. I'm not going to say much higher, but it is higher. But it is pretty darn good. So let's go right into the study. Back study first, and then we'll get into the fun graphics in a second. To proceed, algae and algal protein in human nutrition, a narrative review of health outcomes from clinical studies. Genera such as Spirulina and Chlorella offer high-quality, complete proteins with amino acid profiles and digestibility scores compared to those of animal and soy proteins. I want to caveat the digestibility. Certain cell walls and cellulose have to be broken down, but there's ways around that can be done in a kitchen. To proceed, thereby supporting muscle maintenance and overall nutritional status. Recent clinical studies had demonstrated that the ingestion of microalgae can stimulate muscle protein synthesis and improve lipid profiles, blood pressure, and inflammation markers, indicating functional benefits beyond basic nutrition, way beyond. Algal proteins also contain bioactive peptides with antioxidant properties that may contribute to positive outcomes. This review synthesizes current studies which demonstrate that algae represent a potent, sustainable protein source, far better than bugs and insects. Trust me on that one. And I'll actually not just trust me, I'll show you the data. Capable of enhancing dietary quality and promoting health. The integration of algae-based products into plant-forward diets has the potential to contribute to global nutritional security and long-term public health. And yes, you can feed the world of a spirulina and algae-type proteins, an incredible protein source, dense, and the price is coming down significantly. Guys, you have 30 harvest cycles per year. But let's get the study out of the way before we go into the graphics. One of the most compelling aspects of algal protein is its potential to support muscle protein synthesis and lean body mass, which is crucial for metabolic health and the prevention of age-related muscle loss. Recent clinical evidence indicates that algal proteins can effectively stimulate muscle anabolic processes. So, get into the details. From an industrial side, layman-wise, the milling process is probably the easiest. Enzymatic hydrolysis, add pineapple juice. Dark fermentation, a little bit more complex. But the kitchen way of doing it, here we go. Maximizing that absorption at home. Enzymes, really important with it. Well, with any protein, but in this case, super important. Thermal shock, you freeze and unfreeze. Basically, the ice crystals bust the wall up. High shear blending, yeah, more of a mechanical way of doing it. And of course, the nutrients in the Spirulina and Chlorella, often being fat soluble, really benefit for some addition of fats like avocado and so on and so forth. So pretty cool. I don't know how pineapple and avocado go together. Again, I'm not a culinary expert, but that's for others much better than I to decide or experiment with. All right, just to give you an idea, this is some of the ancient recipes that were used. It's nothing new. Our ancestors utilized this for quite some time during the hard times, probably because it's not the best flavor preference nor the smell preference. But again, you overcome that hurdle and make it desirable, you'll become a multi-millionaire, billionaire, or whatever inflation does by 10 years from now. All right, so here you have it. How to buy it. Always, again, you got to make sure it's from a clean water source. Organic is probably best because algae and spirulina also have other incredible benefits as far as waste mitigation, carbon capture, and so on and so forth. So organic and clean water source, know your sources. And of course, the equivalent tablespoon-wise, so on and so forth. And the pro tips. Banana peanut butter has a fat source. And pineapple juice. Pineapple and peanut butter? I don't know. All right. And also, too, why is everyone else talking about it? Yeah, because of smell and so on and so forth. But I guarantee what's going to drive the people talking to it. Check this out. The Rubicon. It's 2026. You see the chart right there? As far as comparison to beef prices and beef prices being pretty steady. And then you begin to look at that drop. Boom, by 2030 in cost. You know how much whey protein costs per gram? And you're going to have spirulina be that cheap per gram? So again, that is going to drive the market pretty strong in a quality way on top of that. And of course, before we get into the detailed section, the team algae, team insect. Yeah, I know there were a lot of people trying to push insects for a while and eating them, but there are a lot of challenges. You don't have those challenges with algae, and the quality is quite good. So you want to feed the world, a real easy way to do it without complex and trying to make a hard sell. All right, the science part. Boom. Silent effects, the green algae protein, the gold. There you have the protein density composition by dry weight, as I reviewed. The muscle anabolism, probably the most important part of this whole video for a lot of people. Yes, all because it's cheaper also means it can be a lot better. I know it's kind of like a paradox for people, more expensive, better. No, in this case, the exact opposite. So you go by Occam's razor. The myofibrillary protein synthesis is just incredible. Protein quality score. Eggs, Spirulina, Chlorella. Give you a breakdown there. The amino acid profile, once again, to reiterate, is very complete. Sustainability, 30 harvests a year compared to 1 in other cases. That's astounding. Exploratory research, because again, it has to be confirmed in future other studies as well. Like the more studies, the better. The redundancy is king. All right, or queen. Mental health, cognitive function, and depression. There you have it. Very positive, forward-looking. Antioxidant activities, fatigue. There's that. Try not to interject publisher bias. Cardiovascular health and lipoproteins, metabolic health and weight management. A protein that is not only good at building muscle, but also lean mass. That is pretty spectacular. Whey has similar benefits to that, but if you have the cost that much less expensive in the long run compared to whey, then everybody can do it all the time. All right. Some of the challenges, the sensory solutions, long-term safety, so on and so forth, all look good. All right, the marketing, look at the cost per kilogram. That's projected, and that's going to be massively different on full industrial scale. You can feed the world for literally a lot less than anticipated, a lot less than trying to utilize cattle. Nothing against cattle, but still, algae and spirulina growing in a pool of clean water from time to time, 30 harvests a year, that's pretty tough to beat. And your strains. Each strain has a different unique benefit to it. They all have similar benefits, which you have your subsets, but however, though, some unique sets to each one, and there you have it right there. But again, incredible future horizon for the algae or algal proteins. Amazing. Great review. Gratitude to the research as always. I am humble that you watch and look forward to see what you and I discover next week. And yes, I also do spirulina and Chlorella protein myself. And yes, I'm also challenged by the smell and the taste. Better minds, culinary-wise, that can get to this and fix that problem. The world is your, yeah, you get the point. All right, catch you all next time. See you then. Bye.